I'm smoking pot. I got my dick out. And I'm thinking about you. And I'm thinking about you. I'm smoking pot. I got my dick out. And I'm thinking about you. Just you.
I'm smoking pot. I got my dick out. And I'm thinking about you. Thinking about you.
I'm driving along. I'm singing a song. And I got my dick out. And I'm thinking about you. I drank a six-pack. I took my pants off. Oh, I love you. I love you.
I'm smoking pot.
There we go. We're in. Hey, folks, guess what? It's 8 o'clock, November 16th, Monday. I think like a week away from Thanksgiving. We're close. We're getting close. Welcome to Stump The Joke Man. I'm John Peasy, and tonight we're going to bring on the great Jackie the Joke Man. Welcome, and we thank you all for coming on as usual, and we hope that you guys are going to come in and tell us some jokes. There's a link up there that you could click on. It'll come in. We'll show your face, show your audio as well, and let us hear you and see you and tell us a joke. And if you stop us, we'll send you something in the mail. Yes, something clean, maybe from me, and something really dirty from Jackie. And I'm going to bring on the guy right now. Here he is, the man of the hour, Jackie, the Joke Man Martling, coming right in from Bayville, Long Island. There he is. Oh, he's orange.
Whatever color. So 3 guys are fishing. And Fred falls overboard. So they jump in, and they're not great swimmers. They jump in, and finally, one of the guys grabs a hold of Fred, pulls him up, and they pull him in the boat, start pumping his arms, and giving him mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. And they can't seem to revive him. And one guy's giving him mouth-to-mouth resuscitation for a while, and after a while he goes, I don't remember Fred having breath that was this bad. The other guy says, come to think of it, I don't remember that he was wearing a snowmobile suit.
Never heard it, Jackie. Never heard it.
Isn't that great?
How are you doing? You okay?
That is so dark. Yeah, I am.
I love dark.
On day 4 of a diet.
Oh, really?
And just to make myself forget it, I fell down while I was walking today. I was walking along and I hit a stump with my right foot, and I went down like a bag of potatoes. So my right arm hurts so bad that I can't even think about food, which is
really
kind of nice,
Oh man, now you need medicine on an empty stomach. You need some Advil on an empty stomach.
I don't know anything.
You don't take any. You don't take anything. I'll take it. If I have a migraine, I had a headache today. I took
Aleve, Advil, Excedrin, all that stuff. I'll take anything.
You look good. You look pretty orange. You almost look like you're trying to get to stay a president in the United States right now. You're pretty orange.
I am trying to. I can never quite get the lights right here.
Well, you got the good headset though. The sound is better. You just dropped one, but the sound is better.
Okay, you know what? I think I turned this down the other day.
It sounds good.
No, not that.
He's doing something. Hey, guess who's here?
Charlie.
Charlie Fisher's here. This is like the Monday night meeting with Charlie Fisher.
Oh,
Charlie in the middle. Hello, Charlie.
Hey, Charlie.
He's always sitting on that couch enjoying himself. Too much. He's having too much fun by himself.
Well,
so Jack,
I like that.
You're doing good over.
I overdid this thing again.
So at least we get to see what Jokeland looks like from our perspective, right? People never realize what that is over there. So that's part of the Jokeland.
Yeah, the whole deal. I got the whole deal here. I got the whole world right in my hands.
People don't realize that room is a big round room with there's books and stuff all around the room on shelves with all the stuff over the years of every joke on from every napkin. Which you will. There you go. You've proved it to me. I'll come up with a joke. Say, ever hear this? And you go, oh yeah, I heard about 1972. And you'll send me the napkin it was written on. Yeah, it's great. That's a comedian's place.
You know, it just happened to me the other day, and I was trying to save it because you know the aristocrats joke.
Yeah.
And in the middle of the aristocrats joke, they were talking about. Hey, do you know that your balls are hanging out and you're drooling on yourself? No, right. I wrote it. Remember that whole thing?
Right.
Well, I'm reading 1956 biography, 1956 biography of Jackie Gleason. And I guess they were really, really carrying on. He had like a 5-piece band in his room at the Edison Hotel.
Okay.
And they were wailing at like 4:00 in the morning. And, supposedly, the neighbor knocked on the door and they answered the door and said, do you know there's a woman sleeping in here? And they said, no, but if you hum a few bars, we'll fake it. And I mean, that's just an example of 70 years ago, but I'm sure 1,000 years before that, but I thought that was kind of interesting.
You're talking about, though. I mean, it's like 70 years ago. It's a long time.
Yeah, this guy wrote this autobiography of Gleason in 56. I mean, just after the first, that major season of The Honeymooners was done. And it's really interesting, the whole thing, like it's just crazy,
You do a lot of reading. I don't do a lot of reading. I'm not in the bathroom long enough to read enough. But I tell you, it's true. But I will tell you that you actually spend a lot of time reading and you really research the old humor and what was going on.
Well, I spent a lot of time listening too,
Do you? Okay.
So I don't know if you know this joke, but you know that Ireland's not famous for their swimming. Do you know this joke?
No.
And so they decide they better get an Irish swim team for the Olympics. So the coach puts an ad in the newspaper, wanted swimmers for the Irish swim team.
Okay.
And it's Saturday, there's a knock on the door. Here's the door, there's a guy there with no legs. He says, well, what do you want? I want to be on the swim team. But you've no legs. Throw me in the pool. He throws him in the pool, and the guy rump, rump, back and forth a couple times. She says, well, I guess you're on the team. A little while later, there's a knock on the door. Here's the door. There's a guy with no arms and no legs. He says, what do you want? He says, well, I want to be on the swim team. But you've no arms and no legs. You throw me in the pool. He throws him in the pool, and the guy wiggles up and wiggles back and wiggles up. He said, I guess you're on the team. A little while later, knock on the door. Here's the door, is the head. None but a head. He says, what you want? He says, well, I want to be on the swim team. He said, well, you're but a head. He said, well, throw me in the pool. So the coach takes him and throws the head in the pool, and the head sinks. It stays at the bottom of the pool. So the coach jumps in and pulls the head out of the water and puts it on a chair, and the head goes, oh, hell of a time to get a cramp.
No, I don't know that joke, and it's a long way to go, and I love it. I love the way
the worst
my mind
joke
is like
I've
going
ever.
all these different directions, and I can't see where it's going. It's great. I love it. Speaking of that joke, that reminds me of the one with the the joke with the head on the bed with the to put his whole new body on. I love that joke. I thought you were going towards the joke with I rang the bell, didn't I? Because it's almost the same idea, and I see you going down that path. I'm like, wait a minute, where's he going? Very funny. Hey, by the way, I like that. It's a very clean, funny joke.
It's so ridiculous. It's so
no,
ridiculous.
It's great fun. I was thinking about these beach jokes today because you come up with all these great things, and this is not a beach. I guess it has a beach in it though. But my wife is like really mad at me because she completely thinks I'm like a total COVID idiot. Why? Because I do things like I go to the beach that's crowded and I don't even social distance, and I come home and she says to me, screaming at me, this is the kind of behavior that's going to wind up killing my mother. And I said, exactly. It's kind of a COVID slash whatever.
That's very good.
There, we
That's very good.
got a good laugh from Charlie Fisher. Look, he's so
You know,
let
the
me
12-year-old girl's walking down the beach with her mother, and she says, "Mom, you think I'm old enough to start douching?" Mother says, "Why don't you ask all the seagulls that are following you?"
oh
That's a little foul.
I
That's a
like
little
a foul joke. I like a foul joke. It's all good. Wait, speaking of foul jokes, there's this. I was thinking about this today. What's pink and sits at the bottom of the ocean? You should know that.
Don't tell me. I do know this.
You got to know it. It's too simple of a joke. I like it actually though. Pink and sits in the bottom of the ocean.
The bearded clam.
No, Moby's dick.
Moby's dick.
Moby's
Oh God,
dick,
that's horrible.
yeah,
That's
I love
horrible.
it. I love it. Horrible, but I love it. Hey,
What do you do if you get swallowed by a whale?
what do you do if you get swallowed by a whale?
You run around until you get pooped out.
That's a great kids joke. That's a great kids joke, though. I love it.
Oh, that's great.
You get pooped out. There's another one like that where one day in the ocean, his father whale and his son is swimming, and the son whale asks the father. He goes, "Papa, where did I come from?" And he goes, "From my penis, son." And the son rolls his eyes and goes, "Thanks, Dad." And the father goes, "You're welcome. You're welcome."
Oh, you're welcome.
That's the only whale joke I know, but I like the clean kids one. I think that's great. I never heard that before. Very funny. See, I got tears coming in my eyes. Very funny.
Do you know the shark joke with the baby shark and the papa shark?
No.
The baby shark and the papa shark see old people swimming. So the papa shark says, "Follow me." And they go down where the people are swimming. He says, "Come on. We're going to circle them." And
Okay.
the papa shark and the baby shark circle them and circle them a couple times. He says, "All right, now we're going to eat them." And they swim up to the people and start eating them. And the baby shark says, why did we circle them before we're eating them?" He says, "Well, they taste a lot better without shit inside."
You remember all of these off the top of your head. It's amazing. I love it. I just love it. My memory is so shot. That's so nice.
Here's a joke. So I don't even know if this beer still exists. Like in the 50s, I heard this. Why don't girls drink beer on the beach?
Why don't girls drink beer on the beach, Jackie?
Because they might get sand in their Schlitz. Is that even a beer anymore?
Schlitz. I don't know. I'd have to look that up. That's a good question. I don't think so.
Milfamy Walker,
Yeah, Schlitz. Wow, I forgot all about that. Hey, you're not going swimming in the bay there, are you? You're done with that?
No, I'm done. I just asked my neighbor today. Her last time was on November 11th, Veterans Day. I think I went 2 days before that. It was great. Great.
That's cool. Yeah, it's over now. I mean, this is it starts getting. I mean, tonight's going to be 35 degrees here in New York, New Jersey. So
it is freezing. It's freezing out there. All right, here's the stupidest one I know. A guy's got a pail. Guy from the Midwest is the first time at the ocean. He's got a pail, and he goes up to the lifeguard. He says, "Hey, how much for a pail of water?" And the lifeguard thinks to himself, "This moron." He says 25 cents. He says, "Thank you." And the guy goes and fills up his pail with water, comes back and flips the lifeguard a quarter and takes off. The guy comes back a couple hours later and it's low tide.
Right.
He looks and he says to the lifeguard, "Boy, you did a hell of a business today, huh?"
I was wondering where that was going too. Good joke. No, it's funny. It's clean. I like. All right. It's funny. Speaking of funny,
hell of a time to get a cramp. What is that? My God!
Look at that head. Look at that head.
Oh my
You know what
God.
I keep laughing at? I've been laughing at. I keep laughing at this. This is just so stupid funny. Look at this.
What? Oh.
That's a gift. And the question is, whose gift is it? That's like the word.
John. Oh,
Hey, whatever. It could be worse. Could be worse. So listen, I got some funny pictures here.
oh
Of
yeah, I
you.
thought I didn't know if I was sending you reruns or what they were.
No, they're all new. They're all new shots. You popped me over here. This is part of the Jackie Vault. There's a lot of stuff we never even went through because sometimes you say here's like a dozen pictures, right? And some of those pictures, I only use 6 of them, and then they just move on. So
Yeah, we'll go back and find them someday.
yeah, I had to. That's the hard part is figuring out what's what. But I had one. I was looking at these pictures. This is pretty cool. There's one here. There you go. That's Middleman, Steve Middleman. You in the middle, and the guy on the left is whom?
Hiram Caston.
I heard that name. Never met him. I don't know who he is. I've heard this name. Hiram.
He's a Jewish guy. Talks real slow. He's really fun, and I followed him into Shirley's in Kentucky, in like 1984.
Wow.
And his name is Hiram Caston.
Is he still around?
Oh, he lives upstate. He's a great guy. He was on Seinfeld. He was a couple times on Seinfeld because he was he was in the same office as Elaine.
Okay.
He was only in there briefly, but he was very low key, and I followed him into Shirley's in Kentucky, and the booker out there, Tom Sobel, still books the acts out there.
Get out of here, Tom Sobel.
Have you heard that name?
Are you kidding me? I remember Tom Sobel doing a bit on one of the shows back in the early 80s when everything was we weren't supposed to be like really politically incorrect or whatever.
No. You got the wrong guy. Tom Sobel's a booker.
All right, then I'm thinking of Tom Sobel, a comic. He was a young guy, and he used to come out and talk about, you're not supposed to talk about Irish people, and then he would do and then Italian, not supposed, and he did all the ethnic things, but he did it in a really nice, twisted way.
That was Bobby Slayton.
No, it wasn't Bobby Slayton. No, it was Sobel. Yeah, maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. All right,
Barry Sobel.
Maybe, perhaps you're right.
He said you're not supposed to do Irish jokes. He did an Irish joke. You're not supposed to do Jewish jokes. He did a Jewish joke. That was
Barry Sobel. Very funny young comic back in the 80s. I don't know whatever happened. And so I always associated him with the Midwest booking stuff. Now, when I used to work the Midwest, I worked for a guy out of Sioux City, Iowa, called Let's Something Laugh Productions, Ken Muller.
I didn't know him.
That nice guy, and I did gigs from Chicago all the way to Rapid City, Dakota, and all the way back. Drove him back and forth. And one night is all the way, during the 90s when that stuff was like on fire. And
I wasn't out then. I would go out and do something and then come back because it wasn't connected dots yet. They started to really fill in just after I stopped going on the road in 1986.
Right.
So.
Nice.
But Hiram Caston, his nickname was Don't Hire Him.
Don't hire him.
He
looks familiar.
You see
and
the
there's
left,
Middleman before the chin job.
Hire him.
And look at Middleman. That was before he had the plastic surgery.
I hope. But did you see you see the left to Hiram?
Yeah, I see Seinfeld.
Yeah. That's the Fort Lauderdale comic strip.
Black and white right there. Yeah. Middleman. Again, I'm coming up. I'm thinking about in the 80s wanting to do comedy. I was doing magic, and I remember in the 80s, Middleman watching him on a Tonight Show and him killing with the routine about folding the sheets under his chin and the Frank Sinatra joke, doobie doobie doo. I don't know if you remember. I remember it was a great simple 1, 2, 3 punch joke. Do you remember that?
I don't.
It was simple. It was something, and it was an old joke that was rewritten. He came out and said and I remember this verbatim because I remember being impressed how good of a set he had. He says he was at work in Vegas, and some lady comes over to him after the show and says, "Oh, Frank Sinatra, it's great to see you." And he goes, "Lady, I'm not Frank Sinatra." He goes, "Oh yeah, you say that to everybody." And he's like, she goes, I want to have a drink with you and hang out. And he goes, "Lady, I'm not Frank Sinatra." He goes, "Oh, come on." She goes, "And here's my room key. Me and you are going to get it on." And he goes, "Scooby, Scooby Doo." It was simple. And he was awesome. He was a great, funny stand-up comic. I had met him.
He won the very first New York Laugh Off.
Did he really?
And then he kind of, not lost favor, but, he I
like him. Funny guy.
He had the most beautiful ex-wife you've ever seen.
Beautiful ex-wife.
And I went out to work with Scott Einziger and those guys. They were doing that thing that Howard got all bent out of shape and sued them. because they said he stole their idea. They stole his idea of having the laser beam and pointing it at the girls. It was called "Am I Hot?" And I flew out there, and that girl, his ex-wife Wendy, was the warm-up act for the crowd.
Oh.
And oh man, we had a very, very red hot time, like 3 or 4 times. They were long divorced. I wasn't misbehaving.
Right.
I mean, I was probably misbehaving on my end.
I hear you. I did have lunch with him here in New Jersey. I remember we did a gig together here a couple of times, and he lost a lot of weight, and he had the plastic surgery. He looked good, and he was there, and he did a lot of Jewish events like temples and stuff. He was a very good shticky one. You know,
he still makes a lot of money. He's very good friends with my friend John DeBellis, who's in Nicaragua, and I know they just got hit by 2 more hurricanes. I hope he's doing all right.
Hope they're all right. Here's a joke up in the comments from Brian K. What did Debbie Reynolds have that Tiger Woods would have used this weekend? A good stroke. Okay. I take any joke is good. I like it. Speaking of bad jokes, well, because it's supposed to be about the beach, right? So even though I'm older, I was at the beach once and I decided to take my shirt off, you know, and this really hot fit, like muscular blonde comes walking over to me, and she pushes this note in my hand, and she smiles and winks, and she leaves. So I'm like, I open up the note, and it says, "Meet me at this address at 8 p.m. And I think, damn, Peasy, you still got it. That's what I'm thinking. So I Google the address, and it's a fucking Weight Watchers meeting.
Yeah, that's all. That's terrible. That's so sad.
I love it. I have bigger breasts than she did.
The guy walks in, the guy says to the bartender, "I'm so pissed off." And the bartender says, "Why are you pissed off?" He says, I had a date. I had a date to meet somebody at the beach. I had a date to meet a hunchback chick at the beach, and she stood me up, and I had the whole dug and everything.
Look at Charlie's face.
It's pretty dark. Pretty dark. Come on, do another. Let's do some pictures. I like that.
We got this one right here. We got Jackie with whom?
I will send my autobiography to anybody that can figure out who that is.
Okay. Anyway, here's a challenge, folks. Anybody in the comments can say quickly who that is in Jackie's photos with Jackie. But by the way, we're wearing that shirt that you used to wear all the time.
Yes.
We'll get a free autobiography book sent by Jackie for free. All right, let's see what happens in the chat. Hey, here's great. Who's the blonde? There's our friend from New York who actually lives in LA. I don't know where he lives right now. Is he in New York or LA? I think he's in LA.
Jeffrey Ross when he had hair, and that's Rhonda Shear.
It is Rhonda Shear. Okay. Wow, beautiful.
Yeah, we roasted her at the Friars Club a million years ago.
I missed that.
Soupy was there, and you've seen the picture of that. It was like Soupy and Pet Cooper, and
Soupy was great guy. Man, you with the long hair. Look at you. You got that hippie stuff. And what year was this around? What decade? Hard to say, right?
Yeah, like late 80s.
Late 80s. Wow. Yeah, Jeffrey Ross was thin, and he had a helmet hair.
She's got a podcast. She's a multi.
I heard about it.
She sells lingerie. She sells lingerie on not QVC, the other one.
And she's doing good. Her husband works with her too, something, right? Doesn't he?
Yeah, they're a team, and they make a fortune, and she's still fun. I was very dirty, and she loved it.
Cool. Here is Lenny Clark. Go crazy, Lenny.
Lenny Schultz.
Lenny Schultz. I'm sorry, I haven't seen him in a lot of years. He moved to upstate New York back in the 90s, I remember.
Yeah, no. The last time I saw, he's in Florida.
In Florida,
and,
yeah.
He used to come to all my gigs at the New York Comedy Club in Boca Raton. He'd say, Jack, I can't go on tonight. And then when I was completely done at the end of the night, he'd say, I'm going to go up. He'd go up, and they had no idea what he was doing. He would juggle water.
Crazy stuff. Yeah, totally bizarre. I guess you consider Schultz like almost like a vaudevillian, modern day vaudevillian shticky type act. I guess
he was on the second incarnation of Laugh-In, and he would just go on and catch a rising star. He was a gym teacher, and he was out of his mind. and he would go up there and, he did the marching clitorises and, it just.
There was another guy that looks like Schultz, if I remember, and he was similar in that way. He looked a little bit like him, and he used to do a bit where he used to make believe an invisible rope and things walking across it and stuff. Somebody that looked just like this guy, but it wasn't Schultz. It was somebody else. I remember him from the 90s. Yeah, these people coming, over the years, they go into, comedy is like everything else. When it's on fire, everyone's popping in. Everyone wants to be a comic. And same thing with the stock market. When the stock market was on cry, everyone's wanted to be in the stock market. Then it was Bitcoin. Everyone wants to be in whatever's popular.
And people fall off,
They do. They fall off. I got somebody else's question here in the comments from Charlie Tapp. Remember the show? That's incredible. I watched it the other night. They had a Mexican that had to miss the car payment. How old of a reference is that? That's incredible. Oh my God, that's a 1970. That's like a Farrah Fawcett joke almost.
That's great.
I like it. It's very funny. Let me pull up a picture. I like it. I'll remember it though. That's
I remember those jokes. That guy, he's so dim-witted. He's slower than a Mexican funeral procession with one set of jumper cables. You get in trouble for that nowadays.
We get in trouble for everything now. Who since we're gonna be politically correct now? By the way, anyone that knows who that guy is, let us know, and you'll get a free book.
Okay. I don't. It's hard to give it. Well, he's no longer with us.
Okay.
That's a clue.
He's no longer with. Neither is that shirt, right? I hope.
I hope not.
He doesn't look familiar to me. I don't know.
You know what? Nobody would know who that is. He created The Simpsons.
Oh,
Sam Simon.
Sam Simon. That's him. He passed away. I didn't know that. You're breaking me up.
He came up with the idea, and then they just took the ball and run. He just ran with it. He was sick for a long time with something. I didn't know him hardly at all. But he came to see my show at the Riviera, which was very flattering.
Well, when you worked the Riviera, did you work the room or did you work the upstairs at the top?
No, that was after my show at the top of the Riv. Yeah.
Top of the Riv was great, man. That was a big room.
Sold out. And that was a party at my suite. I had the huge Frank Sinatra suite. And, I was a contender.
You invited me.
Oh yeah. You might have been there that night.
No, it wasn't that night. I don't think. The night I was there with you.
You might.
Drew Carey was there the night that you and I were there. I was working the club downstairs. You were working the upstairs, and you were kind enough to invite me to the party where everyone was smoking pot and in a hot tub and drinking. It was a fun time. And I said this to you on one of the other shows previously. There was a young girl coming on, and you stayed. You stayed on point. You played the game by the rules. You didn't fuck around. You didn't do it. You were right on the money. Sorry, see ya. Check care. You could come hang out, but nope. You were like really on the point. I remember. You must have been drunk. No, you weren't. You weren't drinking at the time either. You weren't drinking.
She circled back around.
All right, now. Oh, wait a minute. This is from Philadelphia. The Wid, who I'm very fond of, is a bizarre.
His name came up the other day somewhere, and I said, I got a picture of him somewhere. Me and him go way in my way beginning. I think I met him the first night I worked in Philadelphia, and I love that guy.
Me too. And he's another offbeat, wacky type, really nice person, but offbeat, little wacky. And, when he comes in with a van boxes full of crap to bring in to do a show, it's
you have a whole huge monstrous prop for one bad pun,
Right. He's called the legendary Wid, right?
The legendary Wid, Michael Baldwin.
Michael, that's the real name, but people don't know that. Yeah. And here we go. Here, too. Check this out. Tommy Koenig, Rondell Sheridan. Wow. Check you. And then Paul Veneer. Wow. Everyone's name's on it but Paul's. Tommy Koenig. Was he really that?
I think Paul sent me that, and I think it was on his. I think it's from his website.
Whatever happened to
his Facebook?
Now Koenig's still around. Whatever happened to Rondell?
I don't know. Now that has to be a fat suit, right? Was Koenig ever that big?
No, I don't. I remember him always being like skinny.
But it looks like he's got a few chins there too. And this is later. Judging by my.
Sure wasn't Halloween, and that's not really Rondell Sheridan.
Yeah, that's really Joey Cola.
There you go.
No, there's not enough. There's not quite enough information. That had to be Rascals. It was probably a Rascals comedy hour.
Oh, well, there's a purple curtain behind you and a window, so it doesn't look like that may be Rascals though, because there's that window in the right hand corner. I don't think so, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, maybe it's the set of some bad TV show or something.
I don't know. I haven't heard I haven't heard his name in a very long time. Wow.
You know what? Well, I don't want to start. I think he might have passed away, to tell you the truth.
One night,
a long time ago.
Brian.
Ryan.
Ryan says you finally shaved, Jackie.
Yes.
Yeah, you took it off. Stephen King, prop comic. Yes, he is a prop comic. Jimmy. Yes.
Oh, Stephen King is a prop comic.
No, they're responding to us a moment or two ago. You know, speaking of which, I'm even though I'm getting old, I'm trying to keep in shape. So just today, I was walking across the beach, and a couple of girls were waving at me, and I thought, "There's no fucking way I'm going to go swim out there and save them. No way." That's an old blonde joke, by the way. That's rewritten.
You know about the comedian and the straight man walk along the beach.
Comedian straight man. No, tell me.
And the comedian says, "Oh, the water looks so great. I think I'm going to go for a swim." So the comedian jumps in the water and starts swimming, and the wave takes him out. And the wave keeps taking him under.
Uh-huh.
And he goes, "Help! I'm drowning! I'm drowning!" And the straight man says, "You're drowning?"
You know, there's a joke like that too, where there's a guy swimming in the ocean, and all of a sudden he goes, "Shark, shark, shark, shark." And the blonde says to him, "That shark's not going to save you." I think that's the way it went.
That's so great.
It is great. I love blonde jokes. Jimmy Francis says, "Stump the Joke Man." Jackie, how do you find a blind guy on the beach?
It's supposed to be on a naked beach, and the answer is it isn't hard.
See, nothing. That's it. No Jackie shirt for you. Speaking of on the beach, that reminds me of the rabbi. Yeah, there's a rabbi. Yeah, that's right. There's a rabbi and a priest on the beach. You know this joke, don't you? You must have.
I have no idea yet.
There's so many of them. So a rabbi and a priest on the beach, and all of a sudden they start going out to swim together, talking about religion, and all of a sudden a big wave comes and pulls off their swimming suits. They're panicking. So the priest is like really all upset. He covers his crotch, runs over the shore, puts a blanket around them. The rabbi looks around, covers his eyes, runs over to the shore, and puts a blanket around him. And the priest goes, "Whoa, whoa, whoa. I don't understand. We just got our things taken off. Why are you covering your eyes like that when you're running onto the beach?" And the rabbi goes, "I don't know about you, but in my congregation, everybody knows me by my face." It's kind of a cute joke. But
That's cute. That's cute.
Jimmy Francis said, "Oh, yeah."
So there's two guys lying on the beach. There's a million broads. And the first guy looks over and says, "Look at that brunette, man. God damn. She's an 8. The other guy says, 1. Well, look, he says, "Hey, man, look at that blonde. God damn, she's an 8 too." The other guy says, 1. He said, check out that redhead. Holy, she's a 9. She is a 9. The other guy says, "That maybe a 2. He said, "Wait a minute. The other 2 girls were really cute, but this redhead is just about perfect. How could you rate her a 2 on a 1 to 10 scale?" He said, "I don't use that old stupid 1 to 10 scale. I use the Budweiser scale." He says, "What's that?" He says, "That's how many Clydesdales it'd take to rip her off my face."
Uh, how many Clydesdales? That's great. That's great.
If you can put the word Clydesdales in a joke, I think you're all set.
I think it's the only joke in the world with Clydesdale in it.
I hope so.
Yeah, I think so.
Hey, Harvey Leeds is up my ass about. I told him, listen, if you send me a pair of aviator glasses, I will lie on the couch.
Oh, yeah. All right.
My screen at me, and then
Broke down, and you've accepted his challenge.
Well, and I said maybe me and John will do a few minutes of it. Like, I don't know how we'll do. I'll just lie on the couch.
No, yeah, we'll just do 2 minutes and give it a shot. Yeah. We shouldn't tell everybody what's coming. We'll just do it. It'll be funny.
Yeah, we'll try it.
I'll give it a shot. Well, it sounds like fun. I mean, I'm all set up to do it. I have written stuff, but now everything's changed, but we could rewrite it and make it better anyway. So, it's all good.
I'll just deal with
Look at you.
Throw me.
Look at you. You're falling out. You're like, whoa. It's you hurt your arm and you're all banged up. Hey, let me show you another one of these.
I didn't take any drugs or anything, but me and Barbara went for like a 4-mile walk. So
that's good.
And you know what? I'll tell you why I'm yawning. This is the fourth day of my diet. No carbos.
Oh, you go protein?
Well, whatever, but I'm, no pizza, no bread.
Right. But are you doing
keto? That's the energy. I'm not doing anything except trying to eat less. But I know if I don't eat, pasta and pizza and bread, I lose 10 pounds just by doing that. So
right, yeah, lean.
But you run out of energy.
No, but usually your energy starts to go up once you get into this little while. The energy.
But it's only been a couple of days, so I'm not.
Yeah, really it takes like a week or 10 days or whatever. But are you on keto, Jackie?
No, I don't even know what the fuck that is. I did stop masturbating.
Oh, that's why you're not. That's why you're tired.
Well, no. Well, I stopped in 2001.
Yeah. Well, I'm not even going to touch that. All right. So, because I don't want to even.
Thank you.
This is all good for you. So here we go. Was that Rob Bartlett?
Rob Bartlett
with
Dave
I have no
Hawthorne.
idea. Who?
Dave Hawthorne.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. Okay, where was that? Look at that. Yeah.
That was at my girlfriend at the time, Lois's mother's house, and Lois's mother. I don't know if I told you this. If somebody insults you.
Yeah.
You never shake. I never shake it. If somebody cuts to your bone.
Right.
Right. And Lois's mother.
We would.
Lois, you'd think you'd forget it by the time you walk out. Lois's, this is 1978. So I'm 30. And I think Lois her and Nancy, my ex-wife, were in school together. I think Lois was like 21, and her mother was not thrilled that she was, seeing me, and she invited us over.
How does this make you feel? It sounds like
no, wait, I didn't even get to the good part yet, and it was like Hawthorne, me, Nelson, Minervini, Myers. We're all over at this party, and it was a party that me and Lois threw, and it was basically for her to get to know the guys, and actually for us to get to know each other, the guy, because I hardly knew the guys.
Right.
And her mother really didn't like me. And at some point, and I'm sure it was that night, her mother kind of, pulled me aside or something. She's a real witch of an Italian woman, whose husband her ex-husband had been like, I think he was in real estate, but he was trying to be an entertainer and a comic, and he was a runaround, and a finagler and a cheater, and so I already got 3 steps in the grave.
You sound like he was already a comic. Oh my God!
Oh, yep. When you're in school, there's always like one guy in the class that can make everybody laugh all the time.
Sure.
And I said, yeah. And she said, you're not that guy.
Boom.
It stayed with me for 40 years, 42 years.
Wow.
You're not that guy.
because it comes from this woman.
Why would she go out of it, like you?
Why? Because she wanted to hurt you, and she did.
Fucking cunt.
Knife deep and roll it around, and then you don't forget about it. I've had things like that too in my life happen where you do a show and I've made fun of people with the dummy sometimes, and I've really gone maybe too far, or I hit on somebody that was sensitive. I'll never forget back in the 80s. Yeah, I was doing a fire department, and there was a woman sitting in the front row that was gorgeous. I mean, she was like Lola Brigida, kind of gorgeous Italian lady with the long black hair, big eyes, and perfectly like Susan, what's her name from Charlie's Angels. Just anyway, beautiful. 10, 9.
The kind of people that have no sense of humor because they don't need to.
Well, she's just gorgeous just sitting there, and she's wearing, and I remember she's wearing high-heeled boots, like the white boots that go up to the knee, right? And she's wearing a zipper tiger outfit, like a print tiger with the high-heeled boots, with the legs crossed, with the long 80s hair, the big beautiful eyes.
Jesus, now I got to start masturbating again.
Oh, forget it. 21 years, look what I've done to you. You should be the judge. Do the thing, man. Tell me more. Tell me more. Tell me more.
Go ahead. So,
anyway, I'm making fun of the dummy that she's ugly. I keep saying what the dummy keeps saying to her, oh, look at this ugly woman, or whatever. At the end of the show, she comes over to me and she's crying and she's full of hate and fury and telling me, how dare you? My whole life I've been ugly and blah, blah, blah. And you got to point it out in front of all these people. And I'm like, what? Huh? I thought she was pulling my leg. She truly, truly meant. And, and she called me all kinds of names and told me I was disgusting, and went to the guy who paid me and said, you shouldn't pay him. He's a piece of crap. And, all this kind of stuff. And I remember going, I'm so sorry. You're beautiful. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, what are you talking about? And it was just one of those things. And never.
She's totally insecure and couldn't deal with it.
Gorgeous. Wow. So now, from that experience in the future, when I started making fun of people, I've always learned that I always never make fun of a woman's beauty or not. And I don't make fun of an illness on stage. I will never do a woman if she's overweight or hair. I try to stay away from anything that's really too far. And when it comes to men, or even men and women, I stay away from like real illnessy kind of things. Other than that, I leave everything else open.
So you don't say, hey, you fat cunt, you're really ugly?
Well, once in a while. Only when I see Charlie Fish.
I did a show in the Midwest a million years ago. I actually think it was for Tom Sobel, of all the crazy things. And there was a woman who wheeled in not one, but 2 severely handicapped children in wheelchairs and put them on the side. Right. And on the here's the audience, and to the left, two wheelchairs. And she came up to me before the show, pulled me aside. She said, listen, will you do me a favor? I think I've told you this already.
I don't know.
Said, will you do me a favor? Will you make fun of my children? They really like that. They really want to feel part of it, and really give them a hard time. And I said, lady, I'd like nothing more than to make your kids happy and make fun of them. But I can't.
Because the audience,
as much as they might like it, everybody else will fucking hate me.
That's the truth.
So I can't do it. I said, after the show, I'll come over and make fun of them, and we'll break, and which I did. And I probably had albums and gave them to them and everything. It was really funny,
but you were smart enough to see that coming.
Well, you've got to remember, this isn't their first rodeo. These kids have been going through whatever they're going to go through. They've been going through their whole lives. I bet I never told you this story. It was in my book, but every time I start telling a story to somebody, they never heard the story, because I know that none of you people have ever read my book. People,
I've read 2 of your books.
Did you read it?
I read it on a plane once. Yes.
Well, you won't recognize this story, I'm sure.
I won't recognize it because I don't retain things very well, except for dick jokes. I don't retain.
Doesn't matter. So it was funny. Like, I was just reading about Gleason, who could look through a script and remember it, but he couldn't remember his wife's address or his wife's mother's address, just like me with Nancy's mother's telephone number. I know 4 billion jokes. I couldn't tell you her phone number at gunpoint. But we got wind of Siamese twins. So we booked them whoever booked them on our Channel 9 Howard Stern show. And who knew there's a set of Siamese twins. They might all still be alive. I'm not sure. There's a set of Siamese twins who are connected at the hip, who, like go through their lives. I mean, they're connected at the hip, but they have some kind of function.
That's
the
rough.
Siamese twins that we booked are connected at the forehead, facing each other.
Oh,
only like a little bit off. So the right side of this one's forehead is against the right side of this one's forehead.
we are the Illuminati Siamese twins.
Oh, and they show up, and it's so funny. And Dan, the producer, comes up and says, "Jack, I need a judgment call. I need a judgment call. It's a tune out. Anybody sees these twins, click, 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 and nobody's going to stay. Just make sure I need some backup. Give me a judgment call." They're up in the office. And I said, okay. Now, they were up in the office. One of them was either a little shorter, or for whatever reason, one of them stood up and the other one was on a stool, but the stool had wheels on it. So the one could walk around and pull the other one along, but she's facing her. It was horrific.
Horrific.
So Dan says he needs a judgment call, and they're in the office. So I got to go in and sneak a peek at him to see, how it hits me. So I go upstairs and I go walking in the office, and they're over there on the side.
And let me guess what you do.
And I go, oh, where's my pencil? Where the hell did I put my, there it is. And then I walked out, and as I'm walking out, I got this cold chill down my back. And I said, you fucking moron. These girls have spent their entire lives with people coming into the room saying, where's my pencil? So they can sneak a peek.
You're right.
And I was like, what a piece of shit I am. I had a reason for doing it, but still.
Yeah, it's a natural behavioral thing for human beings. Yeah.
So weird. Meanwhile, we canceled, couldn't use them. It was too unbelievable. And we were playing What's My Secret? And we actually had either Arlene Dahl or Darth, I think Arlene Dahl, like one of the original panelists from the 50s.
Wow. That's
and
cool.
She was 1,000 years old. And I'll tell you right now, if she had seen those twins, she would have died of a heart attack. And one of the girls that happened to be there that day, we turned out we had a lesbian that was Miss Pennsylvania. And so we pulled what's my line out of our asses, and we got away with it. But
wow.
But it was
wow.
I mean, I can still see him. I mean, I'm sure if you Google them.
I wonder if they're alive today.
I doubt it. That's 1990. Oh, it was. Ooh. And it's not like they're not on the old Channel 9 show, because,
Right.
Jesus Christ, was that, and they had a resume,
Really?
One had a bowling average of 250, and the other's favorite sport was riding, and it was like so ridiculous.
Wow.
And we had to come up with ideas for these Siamese twins, and they were connected at the head. And we had the writers' meeting, and Howard. There was certain times when I stopped Howard in his fucking tracks, and he couldn't believe it. And he said, "What are we going to do with them?" I said, "Hey, what if while you're talking to them, you say, 'I got an idea,' and just pull out a carpenter's saw?"
No.
And he said, "What the fuck?" Everybody's like, "Jackie, Jesus Christ."
I'm thinking when you told me, you said one of them had a high bowling score. I was thinking that what is their favorite what is their favorite bowling thing? The split? Is that when they get a split?
I wonder who would remember. I know those people really are not that they're not talking to me, but God, I wonder if Ganji or any of those people would remember that. Oh, that was.
I met Ganji at a party once in Long Island. I did a private, and he was there. I never met him. He came over and said hello and told me.
Real good guy.
Yeah, nice guy. Hey, I saw somebody. So Jimmy Francis writes here, White Hook is on the beach like sand in that crack. I think he's like 15 minutes late, right? Didn't we do that like a while?
Yeah, ask him. Ask him.
Louis Cordone in Vegas. How are you? We're all doing good down here, Louis. Speaking of which, so a Catholic priest, a Protestant, and a Jewish guy stuck in a life raft in the middle of the ocean. The Catholic and the Protestant pray for help. Like they're praying. And the Jewish guy sits in the back of the boat and he's just clipping his fingernails, you know. After they pray, the Catholic priest comes over to the Jewish guy and he says, how come you're not praying? Don't you want God to help us? And the Jewish guy goes, 20 years ago, I opened up a clothing store. At the end of the year, I gave $1,000 to the temple. Business was booming. I opened up a second store. Next of the year, I gave $3,000 to the temple. Because now I'm nationwide. There's 1,200 stores coast to coast. He goes, last year I donated $10 million to my temple. Don't worry. They'll find us.
They'll find us.
I don't know if that relates to the beach jokes or not, but there you go.
That's great. You know, it's like the IRS. The IRS calls the rabbi and says, did Mr. Schwartz donate $50,000 to the temple fund? And the rabbi says, he will. Do a picture. Do a couple pictures.
All right. Just one more. My favorite childhood memory was building sandcastles with my grandmother until my mom took the urn from me. Dark and funny. All right. So obviously you got Baba Booey's big tongue. And then to the left, that is whom?
Come on.
I don't know who that is. It looks familiar. I don't know.
That's Bob Nelson.
Holy shit. I never saw him that looking full face before.
There he is. Wow.
Dude, now that you say it, I'm looking in his eyes and I see it, but when I'm looking there, like I can't, you're right, but I don't remember ever seeing him like that. I see him as the bald-headed guy with the shoulder pads doing his bits, his character.
I have no idea. Maybe, Gary, maybe I had Gary as the announcer at Rascals a couple of weeks when the girl couldn't make it. I got Gary the gig. I bet you that was at Rascals.
Wow.
Once again, there's not enough in the shot.
The picture, yeah. There's some, that might be Rascals. There's like a sparkly background back there. It could be. Wow. And there's another one here. Dangerfields.
There it is.
Manhattan's best comic.
That's exactly what the matchbook looked like that Richie gave me when I wrote down the address and sent Rodney the jokes when I connected with him.
I remember that logo, that whole thing too. And now they're closed.
Yeah, I wanted to get a bunch of people together and buy that, the sign out front. That should be immortalized somewhere.
It's funny you say that because I used to work this gig up in Hartford, Pennsylvania back in the 90s for John Schuler. It was called Brown and Thompson's. Do you ever do that gig?
No, but I got a great John Schuler story. Go ahead.
Yeah, Johnny, I like John Schuler. And John used to send me there all the time to do weekends there. And the back room, there was a comedy club downstairs in this restaurant and in Hartford. And downstairs, and there was this green room with this wall. And comics always go. So I used to let the comics write stuff on the wall. The wall had such history in it. I mean, every time I went there, it got bigger and bigger, filled with more things, making fun of people, making fun of Phil Selman jokes, and like all kinds of shit on the wall. I remember thinking when that place closed, I wanted to cut that wall out and put it in my house. I really did. And it was too late.
That is such history. The same thing with the Punchline down in Atlanta. Oh, do you remember that? Remember that wall? We were down there together, right?
Yeah, we went to the Punchline.
They were talking how they wanted to maybe try and
go there for.
Them.
Charlie Fish brought us to Atlanta.
Hey, look at it. It's Old Home Week.
He's in Cocoon 3D. So you went down.
This guy's 6'5", and he goes up to the head lifeguard and he says, "I want a job as a lifeguard."
Okay.
And the lifeguard says, "Can you swim?" And he said, "No, but I sure can wade." That's just the worst. I love it.
All right, a brunette, a redhead, a blonde, all trapped on an island 90 miles away from shore. They don't know this. They've been stranded there for weeks. So they decide it's either we have to swim or die. So the brunette, she swims like 25 miles out, drowns. The redhead, she swims 25 miles out, she drowns. the blonde, she swims 50 miles. She gets tired, she turns around and swims back.
It's horrible.
What is this? Why does the Little Mermaid wear seashells? I don't know, Jackie. Do you know? Ask Jimmy Francis. Why does the Little Mermaid wear seashells?
So she can smell like the big mermaids.
I have no idea. All right, Jimmy. You got our attention on that one. Hit it up. Why do this Little Mermaid wear seashells? Good question.
So she smells like the big, you know.
Why? She outgrew her bee shells. Okay.
Now that's a good joke. God,
It's a good joke.
I have to send him something. That's an actual joke.
He's a winner. He's a winner.
Yeah.
All right, Jimmy Francis, you're going to have to send an email to jokeland@aol.com and write bee shells in there, and we'll remember. And Jackie will send you $1 million. Speaking of which, I got one more picture here real quick because it's almost over. We're almost out of time. You know, we're like two old guys telling funny joke stories on the road, and I got to tell you the truth. I don't know if I enjoy those more than the jokes or not, because nobody gets to hear these things, and again, it's up in the air forever.
I love them. I love them.
Yeah, I love it. Here we go. This picture here. No,
that's Hawthorne again.
Ah, okay, because I don't know him by face. There. Okay.
And this is
Long Island at
this
the
is
Governor?
me at Neptune's or probably my gig at I'm not sure. Behind him is a thing. It's big letters that says Long Smiland. And that was my thing. Long Smiland All-Star Comedy Review. And behind him on the left there were cards like strung together with pieces.
I see that. It says Mr. Polance or something.
Mr. Polanski. And the last word of each line to the song was there. Mr. Polanski went down to the dance key with nothing on but his shoes. Along came a floozy who called herself Susie, said, Polanski, take off your shoes. And I would have a pretty girl come up on stage and put that around her neck. And I would tell her to point to the things as we got to them. And I would play that on a guitar. And that song was written by my brother and my cousin and Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton.
Like in the actor, when they were in Mexico. And I think that there was a second verse that I think I wrote the second verse. Now, Mr. Polanski went down to the dance key with nothing on but his shoes. Along came a floozy. He called himself Susie. Said, Polanski, take off your shoes.
You know, I'm amazed that you remember this stuff. Now, that kind of comedy is simple, fun, interactive.
It was so horrible. And what
it's
I
fun.
used to do was that's actually, I think it's on the end of my first album. The second side is all Polish jokes. And what I would do is sing that song. When me and Minervini started comedy at Cinnamon's, I would sing that song and stop every 5 seconds and tell 2 or 3 more Polish jokes. Mr. Polanski went down to the dance key with nothing on, but said, why'd the Polish guy do this? Why'd the Polish guy do that? Said, Polanski, take off. And now Mr. Polanski was down at the dance key, naked, no, not even his shoes. We're raising a rumpus at the Knights of Columbus, and Polanski's got nothing to lose. And the whole crowd would sing, you got nothing to lose. And, and we do a little kick step, me and the girls, Oh, it was so raucous and horrible and wonderful all at the same time.
Do you think it would still play today? Do you think it could still be played?
No, it didn't play then. I still have that.
Sign somewhere?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, do you think comedy's changed so much that it would never work in today's...
It was so hokey. It was ridiculous. But anything that involves the audience is fun. If they get to jump in, I don't have to tell you. The people want to jump in and have fun and be silly. It was so unhip, but I was such a barrel house. There was no saying no to me. Like, come on, let's do it.
Yeah, why not? Well, one more real quick. This picture, black and white, says Benny Hill. Jack.
Benny Hill, I was such a huge fan.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize it. But, back in the 70s, when we were all such huge fans of his,
Yep.
we didn't realize that those shows were like 20 or 30 years old.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't a contemporary. He was so old. And I wrote to him and said, Benny, I would really love to help you write some of these shows. And he wrote back and said, I got the letter. I was going to put the letter up there, but you couldn't see it. Jackie, I'm so old now that it's everything I can do to write these shows and do one a year. And he said, if I didn't write them myself, I'd go out of my mind with boredom. But thanks. And he included that picture. And on the top of it, it says, to Jackie Martling, now will you practice? And he's there with all these beautiful girls. And he was a raging queen, raging queen.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Isn't that funny? He sent that to me from England, autographed.
I was a big fan of this show too. And you're right. By the time it hit America, it was already 20 years old.
Way, way old. Yeah.
Great. I mean, now we have BBC TV. And there's one more picture here real quick too. Is that a young Minervini on the right? Holy shit.
It's Minervini on the right and Peter Bales on the left.
Holy shit. That's my God. That's Peter Bales. I can't even I don't recognize him almost without the glass around. Wow.
And my ex-wife, Nancy, this is probably opening night or one of the very early nights at Governor's Comedy Shop in 1981.
Life happens so fast, man. Look at that. Wow. Has he seen this picture in a long time?
I'm sure.
Email him that picture. And there's another one up here. Who's that naked?
You will never. All right, take a guess.
The girl on the left, Joan St. Orange?
No, the girl on the left is a hotel maid.
Okay, and the guy on the right, he looks familiar.
He's not familiar at all.
Okay.
But name some comedians.
Name some comedians? Where do I start? Name some comics.
Start.
From what decade are we talking about? The 70s, the 80s? He's Jimmy J.J. Walker? Is that who he is?
No, older.
Older? Damn.
He's somebody's son.
What? Okay, so it's not Carrot Top before he...
No, it's not. He's not a comedian. He's not a comedian.
He's a comic son?
Yep.
His face looks damn familiar, man.
Get
out of here. That's his son?
It's Brian Roy.
Didn't know that. No. And where is he today? Wow.
He's in Connecticut. Makes a lot of money as a stockbroker.
Does he really?
I never ran into him again, but he was in my room when I was on the road with Rodney. He came in my motel room. I said, I want to take your picture. He said, well, let me do something silly. So he took my pot. I don't even know if it was my pot pipe. He just took a pipe and grabbed the maid.
That's a great story. What's the chance? All right, well, we got to get out of here. It's one more joke, and we're going to get out of here before it's an hour already, and time is flying. And somebody wrote, he goes, Don Rickles. No, it wasn't Don Rickles' son. They wrote Henny Youngman's son. No, it wasn't. Brian Rice goes, G.A. Peasy, what's up? Thanks a lot for the jokes, guys. See you. All right, let's do one more before we get out of here. I got a quick one. Well, it's not a quick one. All right, young woman in New York. She's really depressed. She's about to end her life. She's about to throw herself in the ocean. And just before she's about to throw herself in, this handsome young guy goes and says, lady, you have so much to live for. I'm a sailor, and we're off to Italy tomorrow. I can stow you away in my ship. I'll take care of you. I'll bring you food every day and keep you happy. And she's got nothing to lose. She thinks, okay, she goes. She accepts. That night, the sailor on board hides her downstairs in one of the galleys. And every night he brings her sandwiches 3 times a day, bottles of red wine, and then he makes love to her until dawn for like 3-4 weeks. One day the captain discovers her during an inspection. And he goes, what are you doing here? She goes, well, I had this arrangement with one of the sailors. He brings me food and I get a free trip to Italy. And captain goes, I see. And she goes, I guess my conscience is getting to me, but he's screwing me. And captain goes, he certainly is. This is the Staten Island Ferry.
So great. That's just so great.
You know that joke. Okay.
Yeah, it's so great.
Give me one more before we go. Go ahead.
So guy's walking along and he passes his friend. He says, "Hey, what are you up to?" He says, "I'm going fishing." He says, "What? I'm going fishing." "You're going fishing?" "That's what he said. I'm going fishing." He says,
Hey.
"What's the matter with your mouth?" He says, "I got the worms in here to keep them warm."
Hey, where do we catch you, Jackie? Guess what? On Cameo, I understand.
Making a lot of money.
A lot of money on Cameo.
Cameo.com/Jackie Martling. Cameo.com/Jackie Martling. I did a gay wedding. I did I did a bunch of jokes for a band. There's a band called Jackie Puppet.
Oh, really?
You would not believe, and I'm doing them, you know, and I mean across the globe. You know, Seattle, Kansas. You know, it's.
Any stuff
I
across
don't
the
get
pond?
a million. I've never gotten like 15 in a day. You know, I'll get one, and then I'll
Couple
get
here or there.
3. Yeah.
They all add
But,
up. It's fun to do, and it's just short little things with an iPhone. It's all good.
You know, I miss performing. You're out there performing. I'm not. So this is my methadone. You know, I do a couple jokes. It's like doing the show. Feels great. You know.
It does feel great. I'm going to tape something right now after we get done for children with cancer that are having a holiday party. I'm going to tape it right here, and I'm going to give it out to them and hopefully make them all laugh and have a good time. And I'll be leaving out.
So do a knock joke for them.
I'll do that joke. The joke we just did tonight was awesome about the poopsing out with the whale joke.
Run around till you get pooped out.
Pooped out. There it is. Cameo.com, Jackie Martling. You can see me at johnpeasy.com. And if you had a good time, tell us in the comments, and we'll see you next week here on Stump the Joke Men. One person got something from you, Jackie. Tell them to email you out at jokeland@aol.com.
Jokeland@aol.com. JOKELAND at AOL.com.
Thank you, Jackie. And thank you, Charlie Fisher.
Bye,
Give him a
Chatsworth.
Take care. See you next time.
Johnny Galasso. Johnny Galasso stood us.
Hello, Johnny Galasso. We love you.